interactive session between the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on River State Oversight and the State Sole Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ebas, retired, earlier scheduled for Thursday, April 17, has been postponed. The committee, chaired by the House Leader, Professor Julius Ihonvere, had invited the retired naval officer to deliberate on the way forward following the suspension of democratic governance in River State by President Bola Tinubu on 18 March 2025. The postponement, according to a statement issued on Thursday by the spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi, followed a formal request from the sole administrator for the rescheduling of the session. The committee has acknowledged the request and is in the process of coordinating a new date for the session. In the spirit of transparent and effective oversight, the public will be promptly informed once the rescheduled date is confirmed, the statement read. George, what is your take on that?
Well, like I said earlier, the House of Rep have some kind of responsibility, oversight responsibility over the state sole administrator of River State. You will recall that when President Tinubu proclaimed this state of emergency, it took the Senate and the House of Rep to issue a statement telling the executive that anything that has to do with state of emergency is not just the responsibility of the executive. It is both the National Assembly and the executive, because the proclamation said that the sole administrator will be here to administer governance, subject to the approval of the Federal Executive Council. He's not acting on his own as a governor. Whatever decision he's to take, he will first transmit to the Federal Executive Council, who will deliberate on the matter and approve. The Senate and House of Rep, which is the National Assembly, waited him to say it is not just the responsibility of the federal, because this is government. We are talking about three arms. The judiciary was not suspended. It was just the executive and the legislative arm. So while you, as a FEC, take over that of the executive, we also, the National Assembly, will take over that of... so as it is, they have that right to summon the sole administrator if they find that, okay, we need to find out how far you've gone within this last 1 month. Tell us how far you've gone. That is exactly the point that I'm saying here. So if the sole administrator, for whatever reason, it could be for health reasons, it could be for whatever, say, okay, I'm not ready, please give me another time, which they have agreed. It is normal, to reschedule, and they said they will inform the public when it is time. So I don't see anything wrong with this. It is normal, and we hope, like they say, for the spirit of transparency, they will inform the public, and everything that will be done openly, so that the Rivers people will be aware. These civil liberty organizations or CSOs will now understand that it's clear. Maybe it could be as a result of the petition of the CSO that made the House of Rep to quickly.
No, I think that came about when Ebas spoke about the 2025 budget. After a courtesy visit was paid to him by the National Assembly caucus of River State, and he told them that he's preparing for 2025 budget and urged, appealed for their support when he gets to the National Assembly. And after that news broke, the National Assembly now reacted and told him that he has to act within his boundaries. And after that, they now started making moves to form that committee. So that is where the National Assembly suddenly woke up to now start making moves to institute a committee that will serve an oversight function.
So it is, like I said earlier, it's a welcome development, so that because everything is shrouded in secrecy as it is, the ordinary man in the street, is not even aware of what is going on. Sometimes you see the sole administrator, a kind of correspondence coming from them, and also denying them. Whether it is people from social media issuing that, so we need to have some of these things, well streamlined, so that Rivers people and Nigerians will understand exactly what is going on in that government. So that's my take.
Very well. Okay, Chukwu, what is your take on this story?
I think coming to what George said about issues coming out from social media, within the last 2-3 weeks, we've had so many unfounded stories coming out from social media, and it beats my imagination. Like I always tell people, we had fewer fools online when subscription was 5,000 and above in the days of BlackBerry. But today, due to Android, where you have subscription for 200, 100 naira, some people can come online and post one thing that will just sway public attention. Like me, these days, whatever I see on social media, I look for the link to see where it's emanating from. If it doesn't have a source, I don't even react. I don't even have the luxury of reading. So to say, for me, this interactive session, in as much as it's long overdue, it's something that must be done, given the fact that it's handshake across board. Why I say it's handshake across board? The sole administrator does not have that sole right to administer Rivers State alone. He needs to work in tandem, and these are part of what led us to where we are, where someone refused to work with a recognized people, where someone became a complainant, judge, jury, and even an enforcer of a judgment that he has not gotten, because he had so many people clapping for him, urging him to go ahead, and it has led us to where we are today. So be that as it may, the interactive session between the sole administrator and the National Assembly, it's something that must be done so that they all be on the same page.
All right, very well. And then still on a reverse emergency rule, George, you want to say something?
On this?
You wanted to say something?
No,
else,
no, it's a clear matter.
Okay, very well. Still on Rivers State emergency rule. Member of the House of Representatives from Rivers State, Solomon Bob, has accused the Nigerian Bar Association of insincerity, hypocrisy, and misguided praetorian pretensions, urging it to return the 300 million naira conference hosting fund doled out by the Rivers State government. The lawmaker said, the NBA does not have the jurisdictional competence or ethical example to be a barometer for measuring democracy and constitutionalism, adding that an association of lawyers, which should be a model of democratic participation, has become a cartel for pursuing narrow interests to the point where the NBA is unable to organize its elections based on the principle of universal franchise devoid of zoning. Bob also said, since after the fiasco of the 1992 conference, so-called NBA elections are no more than predetermined coronation of regional or even ethnic hegemons, and described the NBA statement as a distraction and accused the NBA of rank hypocrisy and insincerity because it stood idly by without a whimper when the suspended governor Similaye Fubara exhibited the type of crass lawlessness and wanton irresponsibility that was never seen in any state in Nigeria, Bob claimed. Bob says that the NBA has gotten itself entangled in a sweetheart deal with Fubara, and it was set to use the Port Harcourt conference to whitewash the worst misgovernance of any state in Nigeria, adding that NBA's statement on the Rivers situation carefully concealed their pecuniary interest and only belatedly admitted receiving a huge advance payment from Fubara after the authorities in Port Harcourt exposed the deal by publicly demanding a refund of the money. He said NBA's grudging claim that the sum of 300 million naira was a gift is unreasonable and unbecoming of a self-appointed ombudsman, and proved that they were engaged in a relationship of compromise with Fubara, and demanded that the money be returned to the coffers of the Rivers State government, failing which the authorities in Port Harcourt should take every necessary step to recover same. Now, I will start with you, George. While I was reading the story, something stood out for me. Something stood out for me when the House of Rep member Solomon Bob was speaking. He said that the 300 million naira hosting funds was a down payment. He said that in his statement. Was a down payment. I'm trying to make it make sense to me. Like, that was an advance payment. So which means there was more to have followed during the confab itself. Interesting. Judge, what do you make of this story?
Well, the House of Rep member from Rivers State, Solomon Bob, is also a lawyer. He has spoken exactly what some of us have been saying earlier before. Now, I think I've been on your show before where we discussed issues of how NBA has taken side despite all the misgovernance of Governor Fubara. I'm talking about trampling on the laws and all of that. They have not spoken against that. Instead, they are working in tandem with him, which could be the reason why this 300 million we all never had earlier before now happened. And Bob said it's a down payment.
It's a down payment.
Yeah, that like we also heard. It's a down payment.
Oh, you heard that
yes,
as well?
I heard it's a down payment. I heard it's a down payment with hope that when the confab takes place in August, more will be given to the MBA.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's obvious that the current leadership of the MBA has failed. If they have any modicum of integrity left with them, by now they shouldn't have allowed this to even be debated in the public sector. They should have returned that money, because the sole administrator, the information that we got is that that money was not a gift. It was given with the understanding that MBA will attract, based on that confab, it will attract some kind of businesses to River State. Of course, businesses will flourish, the tourism industry and other areas will flourish. So that was the understanding they had. So if you have taken away the confab to Enugu, it is just normal, it is honorary for them as a group. They say they are the conscience of the society. It is honorary for them to say, okay, since you are moving this thing based on the fact that we feel that democracy has died in River State, they should return the money back to River State coffers. And they are holding on to that money as if their life is so dependent on that, calling it a gift of 300 million to do what? To do what? So I see that from what Bob has said there, these people do not have they don't have the barometer to measure. They don't have it. So let them return that money. I have been speaking about it. They should return the 300 million. If they still have any form of integrity left with them, they should return the money. You cannot keep them. You have removed the convert from River State to Enugu because you said democracy has died here. No problem. No problem. Return the money that they gave to you. It's as simple as that. So Bob did not make any mistake when he said what he said. This same MBA, we are here from beginning when Governor Fubara chased away the assembly members. He was the one, according to him, that he has the right to either recognize or de-recognize them. Despite all judgment from lower court to appellate court, it was when the Supreme Court ruled. Even at that, he refused to act immediately. He was like, he will study the judgment. This same MBA, we are here, prodding him. They were prodding him, they were pushing him. They never saw anything wrong. Suddenly, the president declared state of emergency. They now realize that democracy has died, and therefore they are moving as a protest. They are moving their convert to Enugu. Please, MBA Alpha Mosigwe, return the 300 million naira. Return it. That's my take.
All right, very well. George, I'm sorry, what do you have to say to this story?
Yes, for me, I think I would rather start on a note of inquiry. Okay. Was that funds given to them from Fubara's personal coffers or is from River State government coffers? Secondly, what was the aim of that money? Is it not to organize an MBA conference in Port Harcourt where we also benefit and leverage from the success of that conference? Thirdly, for me, I believe in repentance with genuine restitution. If you say you're not hosting or you're not organizing the conference here, the money was given to you for organizing a conference in River State. You do not rob Peter to pay Paul. Return back the 300 million naira to River State coffers since you're no longer hosting that event here. It's simple. Morality demands it. That so long as the event is not holding here, return our money. That money was given on the instance that you use it to organize a befitting MBA conference in Port Harcourt, River State, not to take it to Enugu. It was an understanding according to them. So since that agreement has been broken, they should return our money. River State needs that 300 million naira. It will do us a lot of good. Secondly, this MBA also today, I will say that they were grandstanding. They took side. They even played the role of ostrich when this whole saga was going on. And today, it's clear that they've already taken side. And in as much as they've taken side, no problem. This is not the only MBA conference that will be organized in Nigeria. now democracy is dead, quote and unquote, according to them in Rivers State. Return the money to Rivers State so that we use it for other things. It's not a gift from Fubara's personal pocket. It's like an understanding. Bring this confab to Rivers State, we'll support you with XYZ amount. So in as much as you have taken it to wherever pleases you, please return our money. Do not use raw Peter to pay Paul. That's my take.
All right, very well, gentlemen.
Let me add something here, please.
This government money cannot be spent without tying it down to something.
Okay.
We are not there when Governor Fubara gave them that money. It was after he was suspended that IBAS took over. Coupled with what was happening, they decided to move their conference to Enugu. That IBAS now came up based on the official information before him on how that money was retired, how that money was given to MB. Then we are saying that it was a gift. And this man was saying, no, the state government had, based on the information before me, there was an understanding between River State government, headed by Governor Fubara at then, and the leadership of MBA to organize this conference in River State. So since you have moved that conference from here to Enugu, please return the money. It's as simple as that. But they are not saying it was a gift. Gift as what?
Now, that's where I am coming actually. We are having two different opinions. River State government is saying this is payment for hosting rights. Now, House of Rep member Bob Solomon is saying it is not just a payment, it is a down payment, which means it's an advanced payment, a deposit. So probably a balance was waiting, maybe higher or the same amount or lower, as it were. But whatever the understanding was from the revelation that Solomon Bob is giving to us here, it means that whatever arrangement is on ground between the suspended governor and the MBA, it's higher than 300 million naira, actually. So now, MBA, on the other hand, is saying they will not return it because it's a gift. Now, the gift is what I am now looking at, not the confab rights, not the hosting rights. It is a gift. If it is a gift, the question would be, what has MBA done for River State government to warrant a gift? Right? On what is that gift premised? That's the question. On what is that gift premised? You know, it's different when a Rivers Association meets the government, right? And if it's a gift, now the question would be, why that humongous sum as a gift? As a gift, not like MBA has an emergency that demands government intervention, as it were. And River State will not be the only state or organization that MBA will write to for sponsorship. Now they are denying that this money is for the confab. And they're saying it is a gift, which further one would ask, a gift with this kind of, is it a Greek gift? Is the gift wrapped in something much more sinister? Judge, can you please elucidate some more? Because I mean, this is a question I keep asking. I'm kind of confused. Why would a suspended governor release such amount of money to MBA as a gift?
My dear, we are all in this state. The suspended governor was looking for validation from every angle. He was looking for validation with the civil liberty organization, the civil society groups, the market women, the social media people, you understand, the likes of Honorable Ugochiri from Imo State. And in fact, there was a time the Honorable Ugochiri mobilized some House of Rep members from Abuja. It came down to Port Harcourt here. They all left with gift. They all left with gift. Yes, they came during the heat of that struggle. You know, they all came. So the governor was looking for validation, looking for support from every organizations and individuals, including PANDEF, some high-profile politicians, both retired and still serving. You understand? He was looking for validation and he was moving. All this were not for free. it was that same gift that MBA got from the governor. And over time, you could see that they have been speaking for, despite the clear violation of our constitution by the suspended governor. They never spoke against him. So it was that same gift you said was wrapped with some sinister. And like the Solomon Bob said, it is a down payment. There was something left. It was just hold while they keep laundering the image until the time for the confab, if the man was not suspended. And that is why you see them ferociously coming out to bombard the proclamation of the state of emergency. Telling you how democracy has died and all that, just to justify, the same gift given to them by the government. So that's in government it is called PR. You launder your image, you reach out to people, you compromise them to give you support. There are some persons who will come and speak on your behalf, and it will move mountain. People will want to say, okay, this is the position of law, even when it is not, because these persons are seen as conscience of the society. My dear, some lawyers, senior advocate of Nigeria, and some people who understand that MBA had not done well, have called on them to remit that money back to River State government. If you feel that the man
but why would they remit it back? This is the argument. Why would they remit it back when they are saying this money is a gift? It's not given for the purpose that the River State government is saying.
Yeah, because of morality. Because of morality. You are saying that this man who is there now does not have what it takes to be there because this is no longer democracy. Please, for this same money that was given to you by the same man that Supreme Court adjudged to be one or two. I mean, there was a word that Supreme Court used on him. A dictator.
The Supreme Court called him a despot.
A despot, yes. So such a man who the Supreme Court called a despot gave you money, you accepted it. And the same that person that the president appointed as sole administrator, you said no, democracy has died, and you seized their money. Please, MB, I don't know why it is difficult. The only thing I can say here now is that that money was not used for the preparation of the confab that is coming up in August. That money may have been shared by some persons who are close to the powers in terms of the leadership of MBA. So when that money has entered somewhere, it will be difficult. That's my own understanding, because if that money is in their coffers, it does not take anything with all this backlash. Even some senior advocates of Nigeria, some lawyers, eminent personalities in Nigeria have come to say, return the money. It does not take anything. Why hold back to the money?
It's a gift.
It doesn't matter. Okay, even if it is a gift. Even if it's a gift, the same person that gave the gift have come to say, this gift that we gave it in error. Please return it. Why don't you return it?
The person that gave the gift is suspended, actually.
So the person who is in charge now, because government is continuum. There's someone who is in charge now.
He's saying
speaking on behalf of that, like my brother here asked, was the money the personal money of Governor Sim Fubara or that of River State government?
Okay.
If it is for River State government, whoever that is in charge now, calling the shot on behalf of River State government, have the right to speak for River State. So if he has said return the money, it does not stop anything from that return the money. My suspicion here is that that money may have gone to another.
All right. Now, I want to ask you a question, because while we are looking at the money and I mean, this is beginning to open up certain expenditures that were made in River State, right? And that brings me, I mean, MBA has been very vocal in support of the suspended governor in River State crisis. During the crisis, MBA has not been shy about their position, right? Now, the thing is, it's making me think about all other organizations, the IYC, the INC, the mushroom coalitions and pressure groups that have been coming up. And for example, the mushroom coalitions and pressure groups that suddenly have the funds to sponsor press release across tabloids, like national. These things are not free, they are commercial, and then go on national television to talk. And you know that on a normal day, these persons cannot afford that expenses, that level of expenditure, and on a daily basis. That's on one hand. So now I'm beginning to wonder where these monies, the fundings were coming from. That's on one hand. Now on the other hand, these funds in the first instance, were they appropriated? Now, MPA prides itself to be an association that is the compass, the moral compass of the society. And the governor, the suspended governor, is giving money that is not appropriated as a gift, according to them. But that gift didn't pass through the right waters, and MBA accepted. Now, I mean, these are so many perspectives to this conversation, but then these are questions and concerns that I have and people have been raising as well. So, Kechuku, you may have your say now.
Yeah,
what do you make of it?
My take on this is that, first, it's supposedly family matter that snowballed into a political crisis. Crisis merchants, traders, grandstanders took advantage of a family problem that snowballed into a political crisis, and it became a full-blown crisis. And they were trading on daily basis. Even people we respected in River State took advantage of this crisis situation. People came from outside. They were all trading, and they were collecting money. Remember, 2024 and 2025, River State does not have a budget. Because whatever money he spent in 2024 and part of this year up until 17th or 18th of March were not appropriated for. So he spent Rivers money without record. And these are parts of it. So I believe some of these were, in government, there's what they call subheads to retire certain funds. So these are some of the subheads they created to retire some of the funds that were spent on it. It's quite unfortunate that we are where we are today. The situation is not completely irredeemable. There's still a narrow window, when I mean narrow window, for genuine reconciliation, and the state will move forward. I've always been an advocate that on no account must we have an off-cycle election in River State. Let's just allow this whole thing slide. And at the end of the day, let the will of the people prevail. But for me, like I said, people took advantage of what happened in River State between October 30th, 2023 till 17th, 18th of March 2025. People who were not supposed to be took advantage of it. And this is where we are. I don't blame the suspended governor because he found himself in a desperate position. And any man who is drowning at sea, whatever he sees, he looks for that thing to hold on to see if he could keep his head above water. But I'm sure he did it the wrong way. That's where we are today.
All right.
Thank you.
Very well.
Yeah,
Judge.
In the course of the government trying to survive politically, he made a lot of mistakes. Which is what have brought River State to its knees today. Like my brother here said, there's still that narrow window of reconciliation. I think he needs to come down from his high horse. I have suggested this in different forums. I have written about this. At this point, he doesn't even need to communicate to his loyalists or to supporters or to some of those people who led him into this ditch. All he needs is just to take his ADC or one police officer. Since he's suspended, he may not have that official ADC again, but I believe there are still policemen around him. Take just one. Take one that will have his service pistol. Travel, make move alone. This is not about reaching. Just make move. He knows those people who have been having this problem with him. Reach out to them and resolve. Because let me tell you, after 6 months of this sole administrator,
state of emergency
we have in River State today, if for any reason the warring factions are reconciled and they come back as a democracy is installed the way it is supposed to be, they will still impeach Governor Simfobara.
Why do you say that?
Because the impeachment notice is still hanging. He committed impeachment offenses. The only thing he has is to use the opportunity to reconcile so that such a thing will not come up. That is what we call political solution. It is not just here, all over the world they deploy it. Sometimes instead of going to court, which is an eye for an eye, at the end of the day, take the alternative dispute resolution to resolve some of these things. If he had done this thing earlier, would not have been here. The president earlier called for that. Unfortunately, the same people who we are trading, like my brother said, told him that that is not constitutional. Therefore, he should discard it. And he did that. So we all went through the court and suffered for 18 months. People were going through the court, in and out of the court. At the end of the day, the apex court delivered judgment. So there's still that narrow window of reconciliation. Let him come down from his high horse. Discard every other person who has been giving him wrong advices and go in to mend fences. That is the only way, or one of the only ways, he can successfully finish his tenure without the dent of impeachment.
Right.
Because my brother said here, there was no appropriation law 2024 and 2025, and he spent money. There's no court in the land, not even in heaven, can forgive you. No court. Other sins may be forgiven, but no court will forgive you for spending outside appropriation. Do you know what that means? You're just dipping your hands into River State money and be spending it. That is where this 300 million naira came out from and was given to MDA, because nobody can question anything. No House of Assembly members as a legislature to say that has oversight functions on the executive. This money you spent like this, where did you get it from? So it's obvious he only has that window of reconciliation. That's very little, very minor, very little space. Let him utilize it. If he fails, he will be impeached.
Just to add to what my brother has said, he has a very narrow window. Even the Bible says, no man cometh to my Father except through me. That is, if when Jesus said, if you must come to God, you must pass through him. The Bible also says, whosoever breaks an hedge, the serpent will bite. He has broken so many edges. So all he just needs to do now is to seek genuine reconciliation.